Welcome, seekers of hidden knowledge, to the mystical realm of the occult. Delve into the secrets of the universe as we journey together into the enigmatic world of ancient wisdom. Brought to you by your guide through the shadows of enlightenment, Wisdom Rocker. Uncover the mysteries, unlock the power, and journey with us as we explore the hidden depths within the pages of forgotten scrolls and ancient texts. Prepare to embark on a journey beyond the ordinary, where wisdom transcends time and knowledge is your greatest ally. Welcome to Wisdom Rocker. Prepare to awaken your inner sage. In this video, we will be uncovering the wisdom within the chapters of
The Theosophical Seal, a study for the student and the non-student, by Arthur M. Kuhn, with an introduction by James S. Perkins. This book is dedicated to all searchers for wisdom. 1958. Book 5. The Interlaced Triangles. Chapter 23. The Threefold Universe. It must not be thought that the Hindu remains perpetually in the clouds of speculative and theoretical philosophy as expressed through the media of strange deities veiled in allegory. His knowledge of psychology, embracing as it does the nature of the universe, and of man the universe as a manifestation of spiritual principles, and man as an individualized fragment of those same principles, dwarfs our modern gropings into the unknown. The great handicap for modern scholars is their difficulty in getting behind the meanings of Sanskrit terms, plus an inability through ignorance or unwillingness to penetrate what seems to him a maze of superstition and allegory. When we remember that the Puranas and the Upanishads in which this knowledge is buried were ancient before the beginnings of our recorded history, we pause and wonder that wisdom so profound could have been lost to the human race for so many centuries. Continuing our studies on the Indian triangles, we descend from the realm of the gods to consider the universal order. Here we find that the threefold pattern of classification extends throughout all manifestation down to its densest state. We also discover that there exists a very definite and real correspondence between the divine trinity and these mundane triplicities on denser levels. However, on these lower levels there is no idea of deification. Incalculable ages before the Christian era, the ancient Aryans had a conception of the universe transcending our present-day accepted theories. They also had a knowledge of psychology not yet attained in our age. They pictured the universe as divided into three states or worlds: the world of Sat, the world of Chit, and the world of Ananda. Moreover, they identified each of these worlds or states of manifestation with one of the three phases of deity Sat. The world of things they associated with Brahmā Chit, the world of consciousness they identified with Vishnu and Ananda. The world or state of bliss they related intimately with Shiva. This association or relationship between the divine world of causes and the phenomenal world of effects is aptly symbolized by the intertwined triangles. The upper triangle, symbol of the divine trinity Brahmā, Vishnu, Shiva, is reflected in the lower triangle of manifestation Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ages later, Greece, at the peak of her culture, visualized the universe as consisting of two halves: a divine world of causes, sometimes called the noumenon, and the nether world of effects, called phenomena. And within or above the two there was the nous, the self or pure being. Sat. Consider Sat, the material universe. In a previous study we saw that science recognizes three qualities or characteristics in matter, namely stability, mobility, and rhythm or inertia, energy and law. The Hindu equivalents are tamas, rajas, and sattva. In the early Sanskrit writings, these three characteristics of matter were called the gunas. Let us look at these terms more specifically. The term gunas and the Sanskrit names of the three qualities contain a more comprehensive meaning than what their English equivalents imply. For instance, tamas represents the lowest of the three characteristics of Sat. It is matter's densest quality, hence it implies hardness, darkness, obstruction, or resistance. Therefore, while in its purely physical aspect it expresses stability and inertia, on higher levels of consciousness these qualities are recognized as sloth, apathy, stubbornness, stagnation, the negation of will. The second guna or characteristic of Sat is rajas. Here again, the term for that quality which modern science calls mobility or energy contains a more comprehensive meaning. On the physical level, it is the force or energy inherent in every form, whether living or dead. Science claims that there is no such thing as dead matter. It is the force that resides in the atom. It is the power within every form capable of producing motion and change. Without this power there could be neither growth nor evolution. On the level of consciousness, rajas may be expressed as restlessness, discontent, ambition and the urge to action or change. The third of the gunas is sattva. Just as modern science sees in every particle of matter two opposing forces, inertia and energy, and between them a relationship or balance which it calls rhythm or law, so we have the triangle which is sat, formed on one side by tamas and on the other by rajas, completed by sattva as balance, rhythm or law. Nowhere in all the world, says Professor Ernest Wood in The Seven Rays, can matter or energy be found without the exhibition of some law which determines the body's activity and its relation with other bodies. Every object, he continues, contains all of the three gunas, but one predominates and gives it its outstanding quality at the human level. Sattva is the quality which gives balance to restraint and action, often expressed as patience and endurance. It may be recognized as self-restraint, controlled emotions, mental alertness, poise, or taste. Chit. The diamond pattern continues to unfold before us. In the universal triangle of Sat, Chit, Ananda, we have Sat, the lowest of the three orders, which in turn, as we have shown, is itself a triangle whose three sides are tamas, rajas, sattva. We should therefore also expect to find Chit, the second universal principle, as finding its expression through three modes or phases. Chit is a generic term implying consciousness. Modern students find it hard to disassociate consciousness from the brain. The ancients recognized a thought world as distinct and real as the world of matter. Plato taught his pupils that an archetypal world anteceded the mundane world in the creative process. For lack of more original choice of words, we may think of Chit as universal consciousness. We are used to thinking of consciousness as a negative or passive quality. That is, we think of it as an awareness or realization within the mind of something which exists outside the mind. The ancients saw in consciousness an activating power as well as an act of perception. There is a sending out as well as the reception of something coming in. Consciousness, they taught, was a creative power as well as an act of cognition. It is perhaps not so easy to see this in its universal aspect, as it appears patently when operating through an individual mind. However, the truth of this claim becomes evident when we consider Chit in its three modes of expression, called by the early Aryans Icha, Jhana, and Kriya. Consciousness in its highest mode of expression is Icha, which is interpreted as will. Jnana is wisdom. Its lowest mode of expression is Kriya, interpreted as activity, or more accurately, creative thought. While these three modes refer to consciousness, each also possesses a power peculiar to itself. Thus Icha, turning inward, is conscious of the self turning outward. It is the power of will. Its characteristic is bliss. Jnana, as wisdom, is conscious of others. Its characteristic is sympathy, and its outgoing power is love. Kriya, interpreted as activity, is, in its passive aspect, a consciousness of the external world with its laws and relationships. Its characteristic is understanding. In its dynamic aspect, it is the power of creative thought, the power to change not only the self but the whole external world. We have here set up a series of trinities or triangles, interlaced and interpenetrating, from which there appear definite correspondences, creating an almost endless series of interrelationships. Thus Icha will through Ananda, the self, is related to Shiva, Jnana, wisdom, through Chit, consciousness, is related to Vishnu, and Kriya, activity, through Sat, matter, is related to Brahmā, Shiva. And yet the lines of relationships reach beyond this simple statement. Shiva, on his highest plane of manifestation, becomes Ananda, which is bliss, expressed through Chit consciousness, while he is particularly at home on its highest level as Icha, or pure will. Yet on the lower levels of consciousness he becomes decision and desire. Working through Sat, the external world, Shiva appears as motion or action, that is to say, action with purpose or direction. Hence on the physical plane, ritualism, which is ordered action, becomes especially an instrument of Icha, will. Vishnu and Brahmā. Vishnu, finding his natural expression through Chit, the world of consciousness, becomes love, wisdom, which is the very essence of Jnana. That same power, coming down into the world of Sat, finds its expression as compassion and philanthropy. Similarly, the power of Brahmā, expressing itself through Chit as Kriya, is seen as thought power or creative intelligence. The same power turned outwardly through the world of Sat becomes knowledge and understanding. It is through the union and intricate combinations of the three aspects of consciousness in infinite degrees of relationships with the three qualities of matter that the innumerable forms of life upon our planet are differentiated. It will be understood, too, that in the human realm, the interplay of the three phases of consciousness will, love, intellect upon and through the physical instrument, conditioned by the varying influences of the three qualities of matter, become a determining force in shaping and molding our personalities. If we think in terms of the universal, we visualize the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, reflected in or expressed through a lower trinity of Sat, Chit, Ananda. we see two triangles superimposed, one pointing upward and the other downward. Again, in terms of the mundane or objective world, we visualize an upper triangle, Jnana Kriya, will wisdom activity superimposed upon the downward pointing triangle, Tamas, Rajas, Sattva, stability, energy, rhythm, to form a six-pointed star. In each case, this double triangle tells the story not only of their many correspondences, but also of their union. For within the upward pointing triangle there is an invisible center, uniting and permeating the whole, synthesizing and coordinating its parts. This center is Brahmā, absolute non-differentiated being. Within the downward pointing triangle there is an invisible center which is Ananda, the Supreme Self. The six is thus drawn into or synthesized in the seven, furnishing the key to the sevenfold pattern in the universe and in man. Relationships, however, are infinitely more involved than those which can be so simply catalogued. Every conceivable degree and type of thinking, feeling, and acting are the result of various combinations of interrelationships of these factors. It should be remembered, too, that each of the modes of consciousness as well as the qualities of matter is dual, that is, they may be expressed positively or negatively. For instance, the quality of stability or inertia as expressed physically implies hardness, darkness, obstruction, etc., may be seen mentally as sloth, apathy, stubbornness, stagnation, the negation of will, or in a positive way as determination, patience, steadfastness, intransigence, etc. The tabulation shown on the following page may help in keeping these triplicities and their interrelationships clear. Tabulation. General. The divine Brahma. Vishnu. Shiva. Universal principle Sat, Chit. Ananda. World of matter. Consciousness, self. Chit, world of consciousness. Modes of Kriya, Jnana, Icha, expressed as thought, wisdom, will. Creative power of thought, love, will, conscious of things, others, self. Characteristic understanding, sympathy, bliss. Related to Brahma. Vishnu. Shiva. Sat, world of matter. The guna sattva, rajas. Tamas. Qualities of or law, balance or rhythm, energy or mobility. Inertia or stability.
Thanks for watching the Wisdom Rocker. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.